Whew. Oh, man. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's had a great Saturday. We are about 12 hours away from week number 8 fully getting a swing with a 9:30 in the morning game. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Leave a comment below on whether or not I should start live streaming tomorrow morning at 9:30. David Wiley's coming by, so he'll be help getting the food together, although we don't have that many people coming. And, I've got DMV, I've got E2 Blue, I got David, maybe Daniel. Rashid, I don't think he's going to make it. He's in the process of moving and things, so he's going to be tied up and stuff. But, and let me say this. If you are interested, if you're local and things like that, and we can do a background check on you and stuff like that, and you want to be able to come over and enjoy a game with us, email me at cowboysmark94@gmail, and we'll see what we can do about you being able to come over and spend some time with us. I enjoy having people come over and meeting more and more people. That's one of the great things about YouTube, that I've met so many wonderful people and have so many great friends and fans and stuff out there because of this, and I love it. That's the positive side of social media and things and the internet. And then, of course, there's the dark side, but we're not going to talk about that. But I'm going to this is not the fireside chat. I'm just enjoying having the cushions out here and it's not raining, and going to get started cooking for tomorrow morning. I'm going to start. I've got a 6-pound chuck roast that needs to cook for about 8 hours. And since we have an early game, I'm going to put it on about 11:30, 12 o'clock tonight. Then it'll be done tomorrow morning. And in which case, then we can make the Italian sub, the Chicago Italian pot roast sub, which will be fun. So I'm going to get started cooking that in a bit. Slow cooking it. Anyway, I started thinking this morning about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, we have gotten spoiled. I want you to understand, we have gotten spoiled seeing him doing amazing things. We are 7 games into this season. 7 games, right? He has 8 sacks. Okay? Do you understand that, right? We are 7 games in. He already has 8 sacks. He still has 10 more games, and he's only 5 away from what he did last year. Yeah. 21 sacks in 23 games. Now, unless he has a hellacious tear over the next 4 games, he won't be able to be the youngest to get to, or the quickest to get to 30. Because Aldon Smith got to 30 sacks, which is the NFL record, in 27 games. It's possible, but he'd have to get 9 sacks in 4 games. That would be an amazing feat on its own, not much less for a season. But what we're witnessing here, and mind you, I want you to understand something else, because I've been called a crazy man on a regular basis. When I talk about Micah Parsons and Lawrence Taylor through his first 2 seasons only had 17 sacks. Micah Parsons, through his first season and not even a half yet, has 21. That's rare air. And I started thinking about parallels because I love studying history. I love looking back and tying things that happened in the past with things that are going on now. In essence, to me, there's really not a lot of new things. It's the same things that repeat. We just are blind to them. But there's a Cowboy Hall of Famer that has a lot in common, or Micah Parsons has a lot in common with, and that's Randy White. And I bet y'all are going, the fuck is he talking about? Randy White was a defensive tackle. Micah Parsons, he's an edge rusher and a linebacker. Yeah, he is. But a lot of you know Randy White as the manster, half man, half monster. The guy who, when it came Sunday, was a crazy man. Actually, during the week, he was a crazy man. They said he played like he practiced, relentless. That's why they called him the manster. But Randy White, when he was drafted by the Cowboys, his first 2 seasons, he was a linebacker. Unlike Micah Parsons, who was a really good linebacker, Randy White was not a great NFL linebacker. In fact, Randy White was almost a failure at linebacker. But Tom Landry had the insight to go ahead and say, I'm going to take this linebacker. I'm going to create a defense to use him, the flex defense, where he actually flexed him back off the ball because he understood that he's a big guy, but he's strong and he's quick. And by backing him away from the line, he could use the things that he had as a linebacker to be able to see what's going on and being able to make plays, and would give him enough space to be able to work using the skills that he had. And he was a different breed of defensive lineman. They weren't seeing a guy who was this quick. They weren't seeing a guy who was this big. They weren't seeing a guy who had the hands that he had. And this anger, this rage. And he destroyed people because once he got through mauling the offensive lineman, the linebacker in him was able to chase down the players, the running backs, the quarterbacks and stuff, like he was a linebacker. He was totally different than what anybody had at that point as a defensive lineman. This flex defense was a different defense than what people had seen. They created this defense to go around and use his talents. Micah Parsons. After the end of the last season, sometimes this is a crazy thing about YouTube. Sometimes you end up doing a video, you got the graphics, you got the editing down, the sound is perfect, you're doing all of these great things, you end up doing the right questions and everything, and you say, this is a masterpiece. Everybody is going to love it. And nobody watches. And then you have something silly that's just kind of like, oh, this is just garbage. I don't feel like re-edit it. I'm just going to put it out there. And that's the thing that goes viral. It's no rhyme or reason. But I remember, I guess it was in March, talking to Micah Parsons' dad. 30-minute interview. Incredible guy. And I remember talking to him and saying, where would you like to see him playing? The linebacker or as an edge rusher? He said, safety-wise, he'll probably stay in better shape being a linebacker. But, of course, being that edge rusher, that's where the money is, which is the truth. You look at Robert Quinn, who, had 11.5 sack season. He signs a $75 million contract. You look at Randy Gregory, who had 6 sacks last year, signs a $70 million contract with Denver. That's where the money is. You don't see the linebackers getting that kind of money. And you don't see the linebackers getting that much love as the edge rushers. And that's true. And here we are with a linebacker who's evolving into an edge rusher / hybrid. And Dan Quinn is building a defense around his set of skills. Micah Parsons, who can hunt down because of his linebacker skills and chase guys because of his speed, has his ability and his instincts because he's a linebacker. But because of his speed and his tenacity, is an incredible edge rusher who is a half a sack behind the lead for sacks in the NFL. And he's still only a part-time edge rusher. And if this isn't a parallel track, if this isn't history repeating itself, I know we're talking about defensive tackle, linebacker to defensive tackle. We're talking about linebacker to edge rusher. But the transition of what you're seeing, the amazing talent that you are witnessing. I remember watching Randy White live and seeing Randy White and now watching Micah Parsons, I get the same kind of a feeling that I'm watching something special, and you need to enjoy it because players like that don't come around very often. And Micah is very, very special. And if his body holds up, you will see him in Canton. You will see him in Canton. I've got a little pet project for Brother Roz. Roz has been instrumental in helping me with so many different things. And in fact, you guys only get a little taste of me and Roz, because Roz is like, somebody said we're like an old married couple. We've gotten so, oh my God. Wow. Life comes full circle. This just literally hit me here. Stuart and I had gotten probably the last year that he was alive, where we pretty much were on the phone almost every day, between, him wanting to do fantasy football and him going through his illness and things and dealing with stuff in life and things. Stuart and I talked every day, sometimes about football, sometimes about life and dealing with situations and so on. And I just realized that Roz, who I met because of Stuart, that Roz is taking the place of Stuart there as that friend that I talk to on a daily basis. Wow. Roz is doing a lot of different things to help in things. What I want to do, because the single season sack record, team-wise, is 72 by the Chicago Bears. Currently, the Cowboys have 29. If they were to do what they're doing, that 4.15 sacks a game, they would hit 71, which would be second all time. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do a interactive graph, so that way each time the Cowboys get a sack, that we can start comparing it and do projections on where it could go. And I threw an extra curveball at him. I want to do the same thing for Micah Parsons, who the sack record is 22 and a half, and he's down here at 8. And we just start, each time he gets one, notch another one, so we can actually see it. Because you are witnessing greatness here, guys. It's just amazing. I love football. I love doing this. And I certainly love game day. So let me go in here, get my stuff ready to get started cooking. And can't wait for tomorrow. I appreciate you guys and appreciate you listening to me. And I will see you maybe later on tonight for a fireside chat, or maybe I'll just wait till first thing in the morning. But either way, God willing, I'll see you. If I don't see you, make sure you tell you people that you love them, because you might not get the chance again. And you know I love you guys.